You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will cause a whole lot of jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will have a whole lot of jumping shit.
What's going on, party people? It's your man, 50 Grand, the Godfather, Nate Milton, and you are about to listen to another excellent episode from the Nefarious Media Network. Since January of 2025, we have been putting it down for the crown, and we've been committed to bringing you truthful, thoughtful, turned-up commentary as it pertains to the worlds of sports, politics, pop culture, pro wrestling, entertainment, and life. Yes, life. This thing that we are all just trying to get through day by day. An electric word called life, as the man used to say. And that brings us to the drive for 500. Yes, 500 YouTube subscribers, which gets us halfway to monetization, and 500 Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. That's our stretch goal for the year. Because if we hit those marks, it allows us the flexibility and the freedom and the funds, quite honestly, to do some more things here at the network, to be more consistent with our shows, to bring you new shows, and to bring some people on to help with production. So if you believe in us, man, if you believe in what we're doing here, because we got a lot of hard-working people, myself included, working 50, 60 hours a week at the shoot jobs, got families, got kids, got responsibilities, but we still do this, man, because we love this and we believe in this. And if you believe in us and you love the shows that we do, help us out, man. Help a brother out. Help a sister out. That's all we asking, because we are trying to change the game by any means necessary, even if those means may be nefarious.
It's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of jumping shit.
Let's go. It's too late, y'all. I know I say bring your pen and pad to class, but it's too late, y'all. It's the end of the semester. Grades are coming due, and it's all over now. So it's a wrap for that. So I hope you did your best. But that same feeling in your gut when you had your parent-teacher conference, we about to have that right now with these results of this year. So we're going to go over all that we have of WWE, AEW, and looking at what we feel at this point were some of our best, some of our worst, who had some of the greatest character building, and who had some of the best weekly shows, who was somebody who maybe held our attention on an app? Maybe who's somebody who said, "Hey, I gotta see what's happening on another channel. I don't know what it is, or I just gotta get up because I'm good with this wrestler on the screen right now." We're gonna cover all that and more today, reviewing 2025 because we almost out the door. 2026 around the corner, man. But hey, I cannot do it by myself. So I need them to one by one. Oh, I see them standing. One, two, three. Mid card mafia, stand up. Your leader is here. My tag team partner. Hey, upper mid card Jay Lacey is here. Let's rock, baby. How you doing, dog?
Oh man, I am blessed. I am happy to be here. I can't believe 2025 is almost in the books, man. Man, it's been a crazy year. We about to get into it. I'm sure you got your thoughts. I got my thoughts as well on 2025 and what a year it has been in pro wrestling. Let's go.
Well, pro wrestling is always best off by talking, and it's a story based business. We are here to grab narratives. There's a good guy and there's a bad guy, and we are here to either see somebody win or somebody lose. And how do we get there and all the twists and turns with there? And so, with that, who had some of the best character building? And we gonna put a lens on one company at a time to do this. Let's look at AEW to kick it off. Who are a couple of stars that you think AEW did a really good job coming into 2025, building up, creating, putting a buzz behind, or maybe those stars on their own built that buzz, and then the company was able to capitalize off of that? Who highlighted you for this year?
Well, there's been a couple of characters, and you're going to see a constant through line for my 2025 wrap up. Number one, Tony Storm. I mean, she had an incredible 2024, and she built on top of that momentum and her wrestling, her character development into what she is today. You know, she is one of the premier characters on AEW television. She's one of those can't miss characters that you see on the TV and you're like, okay, what's she gonna do now? And then it leads into her match quality. It's been spot on. Another character, Mercedes Moné. The whole belt collect. I mean, the whole story arc with that popping up in an independent near you, taking that belt, going overseas, taking that belt, going to another promotion, taking that belt, going to Mexico, Viva la Raza, taking that belt, going over to Japan, Kanishiwa, taking that belt, doing all that kind of stuff, man. And so watch her going into like 2025, we're like, okay, so this is interesting. In the middle of 2025, okay, we got you. And now where we are, where she's starting to lose a little bit of steam. I mean, she just lost one belt in the ROH. So who knows what's going to happen in 2026, but this is 2025. We talk about right here, right now. Another one, Babes of Wrath. I didn't have that on my 2025 bingo card. You know what I mean? So she's another one that's been doing character development. Again, her working with Mercedes Moné. Willow Nightingale, another one. Oh my gosh. I mean, she's had momentum since she beat another through line, Mercedes Moné. And we've just been waiting for her to get something to fully grasp and hold on to. And I believe she's got that with being the first women to hold those tag team titles in AEW. I think that's an incredible honor. They had a banger of a match. I mean, I don't think there's anything that Willow Nightingale has been in that has sucked this year. I might be wrong, and maybe I'm objectively speaking. Maybe the audience is objective as well too. But that's where I'm at with that. So that's just a handful of characters I've got right there. What about you?
No, and I'm going to do my best to not echo anything you have already said, but I'm fully on board with you about the Babes of Wrath for both fronts. Willow being with the men in their division and battling with the Death Riders alongside Cope and everybody earlier in the year and having that buzz. Same with Harley Cameron having that AEW Australia Grand Slam show that was an opportunity for her to go against Monet. And so great opportunities singles wise and as a tag team building up. So I love the bingo card analogy because never saw that coming. And so, even as those inaugural champions, Toni Storm took over the company, and so how could you not ignore that? And thought she had a great buzz, but I'm trying not to copy anybody you have, and so I'm gonna go off with one of the future biggest baby faces they are going to be building for this company, and they're making him Mr. Worldwide already. I'm talking about the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. He being built up to be a blowout babyface from the Don Callis family, the same way that Will Ospreay blew out of the family, the same way Kenny Omega blew out of the family. This is the same trajectory of Don finding his new golden goose that was at one point the alpha himself, but now finding himself on the other side of that coin, not getting the preferential treatment in that. And that storyline that they've been building with Okada while Okada's been the unified champion and the snaky one, I've loved it. So I see what they're doing with Konosuke, him having that belt. They didn't give him the IWGP championship. That's a whole nother company. But to have that honor and have that on his plate too, and the G1, how could I not give it to him? That's one of my people. Also I gotta go for the demand, because to see my man Ricochet come over here, people were literally talking mess. Oh, you lost, you washed, you this, you that. Homie has been on a ride since AEW All In 2024 when he debuted, all the way into this year, finally submitting himself, being the first AEW national champion. Loved it. And he's already defending that belt and moving, getting that mic work. You can see his improvement in his mic work and the way he moves and the way he's also helping to uplift the former
Gates of Agony.
But now Toa Leona and I'm messing up the names, but not to belabor the point, I love their growth and what has happened with the demand. And as an anime fan, especially somebody who's now just blew through One Piece, to now see them coming out, those white jackets, the white and the red, those are Navy Admiral jackets.
Okay.
So the big three admirals who show up in the show, they're doing that every time they come out for their entrance. There's been one point where Ricochet had a jacket like Itachi from the Akatsuki, and he had his arm even hung in, and they were doing the symbol for it. So like Ricochet has been doing his thing as a nerd, and to see nerds succeeding, I gotta shout out Ricochet and Demand. And lastly, I love the work he was doing with Swerve at All In, one of my top matches of the show. He's been out injured since Forbidden Door, or a little bit around there. Will Ospreay, cannot forget about those matches that man had at the start of this year. That man was putting a pace and was doing some great work and great storytelling and evolving through the year. Sad to see that his body didn't hold up, but looking out for more from him. So love to see that. And who knows, he might be entering this wild AEW World Championship scene that they've got right now going on with these 4 other men that we could possibly be talking about later on. But that's enough about AEW. What about WWE, man? Who's been captivating your mind in WWE?
Well, I mean, first off, I mean, to tail off of your Will Ospreay only having half a year, Naomi was. Her character development and her trajectory was sky was the limit, you know, and you know, she's hopefully doing well with Child at this point, and you know, hope everything's going well with her and Big Jim. Yay. Hope everything's good with that. But I'm really intrigued with where she's going to be in 2026, because I mean, she had a great 2025, or it was in the makings of a career year for her. You know, another person that they, you know, were trying to build up is Jade Cargill. You know, she's got the world championship now. I wasn't too thrilled and too happy with how they characterized Tiffany Stratton to be compromised, and I think it made Jade look like she couldn't beat Tiffany Stratton at 100%. So I really didn't like that, but I did like her, you know, getting the title off of her. So Jade Cargill is another person. You can just tell that she's a project. I mean, she is a star, but how is this current regime in WWE going to present Jade Cargill? How are they going to navigate her with the different levels of competition that she has right now? She's doing something with Michin. I like Michin a lot. I mean, her independent stuff was really good, but they're making her look like I don't like what they're doing to baby girl over there. You know what I mean? That's not. It's disrespectful. Another person I think that had the character development from 2025 to start to where we are today, Dominic Mysterio. This dude, I mean, coming into 2025, I was not feeling dude like, yo, I do not want to watch him wrestle. Can he wrestle? Yeah, he can. But he's improved character-wise. I mean, he's MJF light. And what I mean by that is he don't go around here like cursing people out, but he's just a scumbag, but people like him. And that's WWE's version of what an MJF probably would be if he were there. You know, he'd be the scumbag you would love to hate, but you can't help but like him. You know what I'm saying? And he's the only person I think in wrestling besides a Mercedes Moné that should be leaning into anything Eddie Guerrero related. Just my thought.
No,
That's my thought.
it's his father.
Unless you're Chavo Guerrero and you want to come back and you want to wrestle.
True that.
Those are the only three people. Okay. Those are the only three people that should really, really handle, you know, Eddie Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero too. 4 people. That's it.
And his
That's
daughter, because his daughter is getting Saul's getting in.
Charles, you come back. 5 people.
Yeah.
That's it. Only a handful of people should be doing it, and those are the only ones that should be doing it. Everyone else, thanks but no thanks. Don't touch that. And man, as far as characters go, popular, maybe unpopular opinion. Version 2 of Americano, Americano Grande. That I'm just telling you. Okay, only version 2. And the only reason why I like it is because this dude legit speaks Spanish. Okay. Nobody knew this dude could speak Spanish. I think his family was like shocked. He started going, yo soy Americano Grande. Everybody was shocked. You know what I'm saying? He instantly won the AAA crowd over. He is something. He's what we call a happy accident, and he's making the most of that opportunity. Like and he's making the most of that opportunity. So I would say breakout star for sure. Kaiser / Americano Grande.
Okay, I like that. All right, so you stole my first one, and that breaks my heart because what more is there to say? Bro. What more is to say about Naomi? Because like she did her thing this year. She basically held the Big 3 championship for months on end, and on our show, just winning that record for me over and over again. From her character building, from her just switch up. I thought the music at first I was like, I don't think I like this interest music. This is kind of weird for the sister. You got her rocking this right now. But here's the thing. I'll listen to Screamo too. My music's all over the place. So you know what? She crashing out. This the crash out music. All right, bet. All right, let's rock. And rock we do. Whether she riding on her scooter, crashing into stuff, acting a fool on people, mispronouncing people's names, but carrying that briefcase, making that briefcase feel important, having a good feud with Jade at Mania, carrying that to Evolution, and then just doing her thing at Evolution. We're gonna talk all about it. But Naomi is that one. I'm gonna throw you this because it's just an idea I had. I think we're going to recreate the baddies. I think the reason why BFAB is just looking so kind of weird and subservient is because she's like, yeah, she got me. She won my ass. She got me. I'm telling you, she told me up the last time. And Say Michin gets toe up too. They both fall in line, and they now are the 2 baddies under Jade Cargill. You're gonna have to make new baby faces. We got Sol Ruka on the way up, but like if we can add a couple more new baby faces to replace them, I think that could be a little boost to the SmackDown Women's Division that they need. They need something.
Yeah.
That could be like the Sisters of Sin, but for SmackDown. So, and that gives Jade something else to like help her with matches because like she used that in AEW for her title reign when she got that. So I think, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Run that back.
So, but and you echoed Dom too for me, and so and you already said it. It's Eddie's son. It's the way it should be. So just let it be. But for me, when it comes to WWE, this year's been kind of tough for me with character building. I'm just going to dodge that off the top because there's a lot of people who I would love to say will be in a lot better position by the end of this year, and I thought would be way better. I thought I'd say, man, the John Cena title reign, the last time is now, man, tearjerker all the way through. What a story. We're going to get into that later. But with that said, Obafemi, a man who has came into this year already off a strong momentum, taking the title from Trick Williams, walking into NXT, and I being there for that match between Javon Evans and Trick Williams and Oba there. That was such a fun match to see live.
Yeah, it was.
For them going crazy. So Oba then carrying that. Not every feud in NXT was the greatest thing since Shoestrings, but him as a character and him as a champion, I loved it. Him with Ricky, I loved it. Him and Trick, and the fact that Trick could just not get that one over on him, loved it. And so you give me that, you're showing me, okay, he's gonna be the one. I'm just every time I see him, I'm like, he's gonna be the one. He gonna be the one. They're gonna make him the biggest homegrown African American, not African American, but Black star that we have, person of color. They're gonna do him. He gonna be right up there with Roman Reigns one day. They can't deny him. I'm pump the brakes because I know I'm hard on the gas train with Obafemi, but been proud of this year in that Cody match. I wish it had a better finish, but still loved what we got out of that. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, Obafemi, my guy for sure. But you want to talk about stealing the show? You want to talk about throwing the matches down? You want to talk about the heat? What only could be coming from the Sky, Io Sky, that is. And so she is a star, has been a star, and this year has been her ascension to the top. I can tell you, going to Vegas, I was sitting there moaning and like complaining, like, oh, why is she not at Chamber right now? She should be winning the Chamber. Why is she not winning the Chamber? Oh man, they're gonna put her in a nothing match at Mania. Oh, she got a title match. Oh, she might not even be on Mania. She about to lose there too. Wait, what? She won? Oh, snap. We get to Mania, and I'm expecting a Bianca win. So I'm on the Bianca train at Mania. Oh snap! Io wins at Mania, and the best match of the whole weekend. I put my hands up. Now, yes, I wish they would have pushed her a little bit harder after, but that night after that Raw, her and Stephanie Vaquer gave us that taste of what they were going to give us at Evolution. Man, take us, not the Evolution, not what they gave us at Evolution, but what they gave us later on at Clash of not Clash of Paris. Crown. One of those shows this year that I don't have memorized right now, but it definitely happened this year, folks. Because that's how Stephanie got the title in the first place. WrestlePalooza. My brain got it. I just had to kick on. But with that being said, Io has been, but no, they gave Io the WrestlePalooza a big ESPN highlight spot. Talk about that. They gave her Bianca Belair's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Talk about that.
Yeah,
they've given her boost after boost after boost. They gave her the title off of Rhea before Mania, which Rhea, one of the top women stars in the division, that surprises people. That blew people's mind. That she's definitely going into Mania. Blew my mind because I kind of wanted the one-on-one match too.
I was one of those people that buried Io. I was like, she ain't win. It's Monday Night Raw. You really think they're gonna do a title change? I buried her before the body was even cold. I had to shovel out, bro. And next thing you know, they got the 3. I was like, yo, wait a minute. And to your point, I like what they're telling the story with Io Sky. And then with Rhea too. And yeah, she's had an incredible year. You're right.
The friendship now is blooming. They're gonna get them tag titles eventually, and that's what taking Rhea out the women's division to give her out the main women's title division to give her some air from that. So that way she's not so stale winning those titles or challenging for it often. And the friendship angle, it's giving her more character development than, oh, I'm a part of the Terror Twins and oh, mommy. Yeah. So I don't know. I love her theme song, but like I need more character development. And I felt that when she was going into that match with Becky at Mania. So to see her now building that through these tag teams, same with Charlotte, gives us somebody to play off of and to build character with. Mm-hmm. Crazy to see both of them evolving their characters. So I like that. And I mean, that's a big theme across both companies. The women's divisions stepping up, taking their own, the storylines to me evolving, growing. You got the first ever women's blood and guts in AEW. You got the women carrying and bringing a lot of these shows that we had over here in WWE to the forefront and helping to carry sometimes where the men's divisions were might have been kind of flat or dropping the narrative. And sometimes the women have been blowing it out the park this year. Oh, also with the return of AJ Lee, because that's how I'm gonna pivot to my next thing.
Yeah,
because AJ Lee, one of my favorite wrestlers as a youngin, because I wasn't a kid, but I was a youngin. Definitely enjoyed seeing her come back. Which brings me to my last person, which you might not agree with. You might not agree with the person I'm gonna bring up next.
It's
gonna be right here for my video watchers. Company man, Phillip Brooks, Jay Punk. Yes, yes, man. Because you know what? I don't know how many days he's been in this company. I should have looked it up. With that many days without incident, this man is here. This man is a world champion. This man has been, for the most part, yes, he got the injury when he first in the Rumble, but like he's been healthy for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for the dog, and sorry for the loss of your dog, man.
Yeah.
That's tough to hear about Larry. I know the Saudi stuff, people had their feelings about the Saudi stuff. But when you gonna come back to this company, there's a line you're gonna have to walk back. And so that's just the world of your life and your actions. And he stood on business. And look, they're giving him a belt for however long it may be. He's carrying Raw right now. To me, he's part of one of the things carrying Raw. It's cool to see this man who brought me back to wrestling in 2011 when 2010 graduated high school and said the shawties ain't checking for this, so I gotta go. These women are not checking for wrestling, and so I'm not checking for wrestling no more either. I'm at the club. I'm 18. Wherever we going, we in the car. We outside with it. We are not at home. I'm not watching this. But then this man sat in this pose, pointed his finger, talked some hibbity-jibbity about some New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I said, is that the belt that Kurt had in TNA back in the day? ROH, what is that? I think I heard about a show over there in Dearborn from ROH. I don't know about that. And then this man brought me back to wrestling and had me locked in. By Survivor Series 2011, super locked in. Did a YouTube deep dive to go backwards to catch up, and this man was here. Okay. This man left. I didn't cry, but and I was delivering meals on Thanksgiving when that man dropped his podcast to cut up about WWE with Cole.
Ooh. Yeah.
And so, like, I literally was dropping off. It was cold, dropping off the meals to some homeless families, like to some families in need. And I remember getting that on my feet. I was like, "Oh man, this is a great Thanksgiving." This man has to follow him to AEW, to follow him through all that, and a lot of those injuries and the mishaps and shows I bought tickets to that he just, because of things, just he wasn't there. I'm happy to see him doing good this year. That's the end of my spiel. I'm happy to see this man doing good. This is my, like, people are like, oh, Gerard must feel an attachment to John Cena. No, I like the man, but like, this my man right here. This my dog. This my Vegeta right here. Goku and John Cena. This my Vegeta right here. So I always rock with Punk. That's my little tangent.
The only thing I'm going to get into my Dr. Chris, shout out to Dr. Chris, on this one with Company Man Punk is this the same dude this year that went super cringe when he had that feud with CM Punk. Wore the cap backwards.
Oh, you talking about he did the Doctor of Thugonomics?
Was that?
Oh, you talking about when he did the Doctor of Thugonomics?
Yes, that bro. Tell me you owe without telling me you owe. That's what he did right there.
But he's now gone full circle. And now picture this. No cap. With visor.
Okay.
To the side.
Okay.
Philadelphia's jersey. Cargo shorts. That's Kurt Angle from SmackDown. He's literally doing. Big Show did it too. He's only following suit of people who feuded with John Cena. They do that. So like, it's gonna be corny, but it's to say like, yo, you're corny. So I'm fully diving into the corniness because I'm not being me. I'm being you.
All right, I'm gonna let that lie right there. It's just I couldn't let that slide with him trying to do the word life. You know what I mean? I couldn't let it go.
Life.
I couldn't let it go.
Yeah, it was kind of tough. The Punk life. Yeah, it was corny. I ain't gonna hold you. It was corny. I'm not over here like, oh, this is the greatest cinema ever. No, it was corny for sure. But it sure was corny when Kurt did it. It was corny when everybody else did it. And like that's just it.
100%.
It take me back to my childhood and watching SmackDown back in the days. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm back on UPN. Like, hey, wait, how have the tides and the tables turned? Look at where we at now.
100%.
We did the inverse promo of him sitting and talking while Punk sitting in the table for 9 hours. Too long.
That right there, if Cena would have leaned into that, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, there were so many different opportunities that we kind of had those callbacks and throwbacks too that we didn't, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but
well, let's touch on that because to go into him diving into that man would have to show up. And so let's talk about weekly shows. Because how did you feel about WWE's weekly shows? Did they captivate you? What would you want to see different going into next year? What was like, a great boost if something was a standout to you this year?
So on the WWE side, we had the Raw on Netflix, which started out as a great show. I was very interested to see how Netflix was going to present a weekly show. They were not known for live broadcasts. They've only did a handful before, but for them to go into this arena where they're doing live shows, what is the commercials going to look like? What's the presentation? What's the runtime going to look like? We had no idea what that was. And I'd say now I think Raw is pretty much the only WWE show outside of PLEs that I will try to watch. And by try, I mean like my fantasy football team did not do that well, but I did have some players I was watching on. So I'd side, Raw on one channel or one laptop or my iPad, and then I have, the football game going on the other one. So now that I'm eliminated from football, it's like, okay, I'll watch it, but they got to hook me with different storylines. Like this Monday, man, the only thing that was worth watching was in the first 20 minutes, and that was Gunther. We all knew the big reveal with Austin Theory. That's the worst kept secret, the worst kept theory. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So other than, there was nothing really to captivate and hold me. SmackDown, I talked about it before. We on the live watch. I watched it, and I want my time back. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where some of the shows are hit and miss, but there's so few and far between. It's like, oh, that's a fire SmackDown, and now you're gonna go to 3 hours. Man, that's a lot of time to invest. But again, now that TKO has its hooks into WWE. It seems like they're all about getting their war chest filled, and how much money is enough at some point. I mean, you're going to start seeing diminishing returns. And I used to listen to Katie Linendahl and what is that dude? Sam Roberts. And Katie Linendahl used to say too much birthday cake. You know,
I
we got
forgot about
too much
that.
birthday cake now. So it's not enough substance in terms of storyline. And I think that's what we're seeing right now play out in real time with WWE.
My biggest issue with WWE is I think we have the right amount of birthday cake at times. We just sit on it for too long. Put it back in the fridge. Just put it back in the fridge. But what we do is we go the whole year. We just pat ourselves on the back. We pat ourselves on the back. We pat ourselves. I was excited buzz-wise for that Netflix debut.
Same.
If I would have sat any of my friends down to watch that show, maybe if we were all drinking and we didn't have work the next day, yeah, I could see that being a fun time. But what was the corporate back patting we were doing? The whole show, the weird rock promos, the whole thing felt like a corporate, and I hate the corporate feel of WWE now. And it's not the logos, Matt. It's not all that. It's just the nature of needing to pat ourselves on the back so much. It's kind of just ridiculous to a point. And it's blindsided our storylines. We have a big surprise in Evolution. Stephanie McMahon's going into the Hall of Fame, which great. Give me more. Like, what was that? Is there anything else? More. You hype that up. Give me more. Like, you put a lot of surprises out there. It's look at our gate records. Look at this. Look how much money we're making. Yay! Like, no. Stop patting yourself on the back. All you did for WrestleMania is pat yourself on the back. All you did after WrestleMania was pat yourself on the back. Give us some good storylines. Why is Drew not having a stronger narrative with Cody right now? Why do we just do this rest on our morals booking and telling? You can call it safe, but I don't think it's safe. Like, a lot of characters, like if I had to go character building this year for the company, C. The weekly shows are C. Because Raw, at least at times, has a nice buzz and energy to it. SmackDown is a doldrum 9 times out of 10. And it's like, I'm home late. Cool, throw it on at 11 and I'm snacking on something and I'm watching it. I'm not here to watch it live. It's ridiculous how much we can't boost up that show with storylines, with importance. The women's division has suffered for, it's not just this year. I hate the revisionist history that people have. Go back and follow every women's champion. You had Nia's reign that was abysmal because they just keep giving her the same couple of opponents. Look at the year prior with Io's reign, and they were giving her the same opponents. Bayley, the same opponents. It's just that far back. It's pretty much from Io forward. They've been doing this repetition and just cutting off the division of most of its stars and new people going into that title scene. So like they need to robust that division. And look at the US title compared to especially the IC title. At least we've now made a new star over there.
Yeah.
But on SmackDown, we took a star from NXT and we've only snuffed their light out more. And now we need to reset them basically in Julia.
And I had high hopes for her. I had high hopes for her. Between her and Stephanie McClure, I thought Julia had the higher ceiling. Just me personally, I thought she was going to be making the noise that Stephanie McClure is making, not to take anything away from her. I had them reversed. I really did. But yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing to see that, shoot, maybe the best thing for Julia now is to go back to NXT and, figure it out there.
So, like, it saddens me because they do that across both brands. I could say that about Stephanie, sadly. Stephanie has been dulled down to such a degree that she was riding some good momentum. If she would have kept going up the same way they dulled Io, I don't know why they do that when, you won the championship? Great. That should carry you for a couple of weeks. I feel like Triple H is playing my GM mode. And he said, okay, Bam, I got you the title. You are set for a couple weeks now. We can move on to somebody else. But literally, until now, okay. Oh, I see your morale's going down. I gotta book you again, or at least I'll give you a talking segment, and then I'll book you next week or do it. It feels like it's my GM, but I need more depth. This is not a video game. I'm not playing and picking. You are. So give me something more. More beans, please. More food. Like, more.
No more birthday cake.
No more birthday cake. Protein. I'm hungry.
So, get your ride back on. Feed me more.
I'm not as a fan of this man. I gotta go ahead and throw that man about here too. I'm good. I'm smooth on that man. But with that said, we go right back on over to AEW to see how you feel about their weekly shows. What's been cracking with them, man?
I think they've been more consistent in terms of the in-ring product by far has been head and shoulders above what WWE has been doing on their weekly shows. I mean, there's always some kind of at least 2 matches you're gonna walk away with like, dang, Kyle O'Reilly right now, before he got hurt again, is like, man, him and Moxley were really putting on some clinics, and shout out to Jon Moxley. I mean, he's been getting a lot of the brunt of us saying like, man, I wish the Death Riders would end. But to his credit, personally, he's not afraid to put people over at his detriment. He's never been one to back down and shy away from saying, nope, that doesn't work for me, brother. Nah, he's putting over talent because he understands that you need to have a viable opponent to sell tickets. And that's what he's doing. So Kyle O'Reilly is one. Again, when he's wrestling, his jiu-jitsu, oh my gosh, what he's able to bring in from the world of mixed martial arts to professional wrestling is amazing. I mean, he's a mat technician. Another one that another person or as much as like with the Don Callis family, and they have so many members. Kyle Fletcher, the other one, that dude, you could tell they're building around him. He's going to be one of those players going into 2026 and beyond. That's going to be a major player. You know, he's got the look. He's got youth on his side, which is great. He's getting more experience in the ring. Again, I think AEW is in a great position. I mean, both rosters are stacked on each company has both rosters are stacked. But I think AEW is playing to their strengths in terms of, you know, being able to put on a show that doesn't feel like it's a 2-hour show. Even when you're in person, when you go and attend one of those live AEW shows and they're going to give you a ROH show, they're going to give you, it doesn't feel like a 4-hour event. Now their pay-per-views do, but their weekly shows don't feel that way.
I have to say, I could not agree more with you, especially I went to a Dynamite earlier this year, the Masonic Temple in Detroit, and that was a really fun time. I'm seeing it in a unique venue, and that's something that maybe they took it from NXT, because I will say NXT was doing that already in previous years with the smaller venues of kind of picking out these unique places. But whether it's that Cincinnati venue or just some of the other smaller theater-like or just places that they've been able to shoot Dynamite from, it's been an exciting change. It's a nice flair to the show. And though you might not be able to decorate the background so much, to be able to have the venue change, be some of the character of your show is really nice. And so I've really appreciated that from the weekly shows. I also like I'll highlight this at WWE with also over here, the sports like presentations that they've been kind of giving both brands, whether it's putting the name of the city just in the corner, something as simple as that. Like in case I missed the announcer saying it, all I gotta do is just look it up in the corner and it's faded right there. Oh, we're in Oklahoma City. Oh, we're in Detroit, Michigan. Oh, we're in Chicago. Cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool to see that. AEW with the Megan O'Leary style / Dean Thomas interruptions of Renee Paquette jumping in to share her stuff. I like and enjoy when my product gets to be, this product is very silly, goofy, and all over the place. That's pro wrestling. But when we can be serious and have these sports like elements intertwined in, I don't know. It just makes me feel like we're growing up in pro wrestling sometimes and taking it to the next level. So what can I say? I love my sports iterations and additions, and as a non-sports watcher, it just makes me feel a little more sophisticated at night. So
Yeah,
what can I say?
it makes it more believable and realistic. And going back to what you're saying about the whole change in venue, like they shot some episodes at the Talking Stick Arena and the Dynamite, and it was a completely different layout than what we're used to as professional wrestling fans. I mean, we've watched Raw growing up for years and years, and they've always had the same layout, and it seems like everybody in professional wrestling does the same thing. Now you have AEW and Tony Khan, who's you've got the Daily's Place, completely different layout, looks nothing like what we've been traditionally programmed to watch. I know TNA had their own set in Universal Studio, but that was, it's still kind of WWE adjacent. So you've got the Talking Stick Arena, look completely different, and that was really refreshing. And I think it was very smart for AEW to go to these smaller venues to make it a more intimate setting, to make it feel like a must-watch product. And I think that worked to their advantage because you're not playing to the 12,000 people or 20,000 people on a weekly basis, or you're trying to fill those arenas and only capturing 2,000 to 4,000 people. So I think that's good on them to find these unique places to have their shows and make it feel like, hey, when they come to my town, I gotta go, I gotta check them out. So I think they're WWE and AEW are on a seesaw. One's moving up and the other one's kind of leveling off, and I'd say move down, but I don't think that WWE's going down. I think they're kind of tapering off, and their growth hasn't, it's not as their trajectory is not going as high as I thought they would be going into. If I was talking about going into 2025 or 26, they're not going up as fast or high as I thought they would be.
So to really dive on top of it, if they weren't doing that, patting themselves on the back, booking and treating the shows like that, they fumbled the bag seriously this year. You literally did the John Cena retirement tour. You had the biggest storyline in pro wrestling. There was nothing any other company could do to surpass this storyline. Because of John Cena's nature and how long he's been in the business, he's going to capture a lot of mainstream attention. So with that mainstream attention, with people who have lapsed away, who've come back, who've liked them from acting, what are you going to do with their attention? And you did what they did with the Star Wars sequels. You did a skeleton story and then threw out half of the story half through, and then kind of listened to fan feedback here and there, but then kind of listened to yourself, and you were all over the place. And it was just a messy you turned him heel and had a great moment. But then how did you use it from that point forward? You gave an also awful Mania match. You kind of screwed around with the John Cena character mythos throughout the whole rest of the year to then flip him back. When this should have been a storyline of a man, the last real champion. Cool, you want to be the last real champion? The man striving to try to get number 17 and working his hardest to get there to the top. But instead, we got a hodgepodge of just different storylines thrown at the wall saying, will this stick? Well, we'll just make it stick. It doesn't matter if it doesn't stick. Because he didn't even show up either. So, with that said, at the end of the day, they fumbled. They could have. The Cody boom from 40 was starting to die down. The John Cena heel turn, in my opinion, walking out of that show at the Rogers Center, I was like, that's the next big boom. I was there for the next big boom, and I was like, oh, this is it. They're going to launch the company energy-wise into the next stratosphere from this boom alone. But you dropped the ball. If you would have capitalized on his last Mania, on a lot of these elements, you gave us that SummerSlam match at Mania? We might be talking differently. If these matches were locking up, and we can see he can do it. I don't want to hear the age thing. So it's definitely the storyline thing and the interest. Because I think if he wasn't interested in the storyline, he was here to do company Cena. If he was like, oh, I'm down for my homies, AJ, Punk, I'm in it. Let's wrestle. Let's have some fun. Like, cool. I wish we would have did more with his run because a lot of you taking it up and down is now jeopardizing a lot of the work that a lot of other people on that show and on those shows have done. And while you were ham-fisting that, you ham-fisted the New Day. I ain't gonna forget about the New Day. What happened to them? What happened to some of these tag divisions? The SmackDown tag division was hustling and bustling and working hard early this year to establish itself and put some respect on his name. And then the Wyatts are gone all the time. So like, what are we doing over there? You're not consistent because we're too busy doing this. Stop patting your back and get back to the book. I don't want to see a camera about you booking a show. Just book the show. Just make the picks and book the show. And cool to see whose name's on it, but now you see the repercussions of that. When you mess up, you're going to get booed when they see you. People going to stand on it because you're ruining what they're watching, and they want to see. Put some work into it. Just put some literal work into it, man. I'm gonna get off of that.
They had so much potential with John Cena, and again, I think that when you're talking about a company that's making millions and millions of dollars, and then the way they treat their talent by just releasing them or just deciding not to sign them again. And I'll use Ron Killings as an example. You had a ready-made story with that brother. I mean, he came out, cut the dress. I'm driving now. Oh no, you not. you ain't driving nothing, bro. You driving right back to the Cena table, and you're gonna become Ron Cena for one show, and then you're going back to R-Truth. You thought you was Ron Killings, and legally you might be, but here in WWE Universe, you
not on this show.
What we say, you gonna do what we say you gonna do. R-Truth. You know what I mean?
And that is the truth.
The storylines like that, they had it, you know. So again, and not to just like bury everybody. I think they stumbled upon the Grande Americano, the first version. Okay, tongue in cheek, kind of funny. The second one, a little more serious, but now they're starting to like mess that up. And I don't even know the other two people's name that they put in there. I can't remember. But
you're talking about Pete Dunne and
Pete Dunne, yeah.
Oh my God. Yep. New Catch Republic.
Yeah.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. I can't remember what their luchador names are, but still, it's like, man, you have so much potential, but the focus is not on the main thing, and that's disappointing, especially with such a talented roster. I mean, dude, Tyler Bate 7 years ago, Pete Dunne 7 years ago, wrecking shop over in NXT UK. They doing big things, and now to see it being diminished to this is disappointing. New Day again, disappointing. Street Profits, where you at? MFTs, disappointing. I mean, there's so much potential that they have, and it seems like it's being squandered for what, But here we are.
I completely agree. Because why don't the MFTs have like character building promos like the old Bloodline did? That's why we all fell in love with the Bloodline. Was the backstage stuff, was the story, was the building camaraderie and tension between each other.
Or here's an idea: you got Tala Tonga. You wanted to build this guy up as a monster, only for him to get manhandled by Eric Rowan. No offense.
Hey, they trying to make him a monster.
What are we doing? The bully's the bully's being bullied.
Wyatt 6 ain't for me. I keep it a buck with you. Wyatt 6 ain't for me. It's not the Wyatt family, and it won't be. And RIP to all parties that took part in the Wyatt family. That was something special.
Right.
And when you have something special, sometimes you're just not gonna replicate that, and that's just life. And we can pay respect. I'm gonna need some more depth to this respect we're trying to pay. So, and that's just
100%.
but to top off on the weekly shows, I think AEW needs to just keep doing what they're doing because the consistency is is getting it for me. They're not always perfect. They're not always eye catching. I think some of the pay per view post shows could always do a little boost and do a little bit better of like either carrying the narrative out of the pay per view into the next. I won't say that about the one after All In because I think they really did a good job of running that narrative. But I think between the Owen Hart tournament earlier in the year, the Continental Classic that we are currently in the middle of, this is some of my favorite wrestling. AEW does really good tournament wrestling. And so watching these tournaments for men's and women's divisions both, we just coming off the last time is now tournament. Poo-poo.
Mm-hmm.
The opening rounds of the Continental Classic was cleaning the clock of this tournament. So, and look where we at now in this round robin fashion. But like we have a round robin tournament and we have a single elimination tournament. I love both styles of what we're given throughout the year in AEW. I love the importance of the consistency of a winner's coming, that we know every year we're going to get that. And we're most times going to get a title match on that show. So like, I love what we're getting all throughout their shows and what they theme, the Grand Slam, that Mexico show. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
That was a really good show. They were able to partner up and go into Australia, now just going overseas, and now they're in the UK doing shows as well. So in Manchester, so they're able to do really good things and take the show around and make it refreshing. Not saying that WWE is not doing that, but they have a lot of elements that yes, WWE is now reintroducing King of Ring and cleaning the ring every year for a SummerSlam title shot. Great and all. AEW's been already rocking with their tournaments too on a yearly basis, and so it's just refreshing to see. Like I said, I want to feel sophisticated sometimes. I want to feel sophisticated, and AEW gives me that in their tournament wrestling, and so I'm always going to put their weekly shows a cut above the rest, which then takes me to the pay-per-views because they pay off most times on the pay-per-view. AEW, I just need them to give me a little shorter time, and you always got my dime. But hey,
one thing I will say about the AEW pay-per-view is that I do enjoy, if you're gonna go like 7-8 hour long all day event, at least start them earlier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Please come on, right? Like they had the UK pay-per-view that started for West Coast. I'm in California, so it started for me at 11 o'clock. We were done by 4 o'clock, which means I can still live my life and go out and do whatever it is I need to do. For the people on the East Coast, that means it ended at 7 o'clock. Y'all still can go out and do something reasonable. You know what I mean? So I like the UK start times on these things. And if they're going to play around and have those earlier start times on a Saturday or a Sunday, that works out better for me as a grown adult with a life. You know what I'm saying? I love it instead of being pinned down and like, you know what, we got to watch this. And, you know, it's an archaic thought model that has been done since, you know, the late 90s or the early 90s with the whole pay-per-view cycle, right? AEW, just do something different. That's fine. But to your point, they do need to draw it back just a little bit. I don't need to watch 7 hours of professional wrestling on a Saturday or a Sunday. Dial it back to a solid 5, and I'm good. I don't need to see 16 matches.
I fully agree. They become just time consuming, and I'm just like, I've been there live for those shows, and they killed. I remember being at Dynasty, and by the time we got to Swerve and Joe, which is one of the big 3 things I was there for, I remember being like, man, I'm ready to go to bed. All Out, being there for that steel cage match.
Mm-hmm.
I was dying to death in that crowd because I'm just like, we got a 4-hour drive after this. Oh my God, I need you to wrap this up, Tony. I gotta get home. I'm not sleeping on the side of the road, man. Hurry up, Tony. I'm so sorry, man. It's a great show. I'm dying out here.
On the
So-
other side of that, what I will say is watching a WWE PLE is almost like watching a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown in some cases.
Mhm.
And that, and yeah, I know we're not paying, $39.99 or get your VPN or whatever you're doing. Thanks, Stephanie. For those shows anymore, but still, I mean, put some entertainment value. I mean, you're not professional wrestling, you're sports entertainer, so sports entertain us. Make it so it's like, hey, I don't want to miss WrestlePalooza, even though the name sucks. Make it so I don't want to miss a King of the Ring or a another type of PLE, for that matter. So sports entertain us. That's all.
I fully agree with you on the WWE side. They usually feel too short. They usually don't feel like I'm getting all that I need. And as of late, some of these finishes, some of what they've been giving us, it's just not been it for me. It's not enough. I look at a Survivor Series and I wasn't fully like, this was great. It didn't. But look at the version of Blood and Guts and how that show was structured. And there was 3 matches in and out the door, and they did more with less.
Mm-hmm.
With the segments and everything built in between. Yeah, there was some stuff going on at Survivor Series, but I'm gonna stop being negative. I feel like I'm being too negative. I would say they've done some good with some of their shows, and they've had some nice earlier starts and some good hitters, and the different time zones make it enjoyable.
Right. But
that
you know
being
what?
said,
Say his name. Say his name. He
Oh.
appears. The wildest thing, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, rise to your feet if you can. Give it up for the good doctor, Chris Ely, and Nate. And what Nate says? Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
Hey, what's up, y'all? So, I just walked in at the tail end of what y'all are saying. I think, Gerard, I don't think you were being too hard. I think you were being hard enough, just from what I saw at that pay-per-view. I was probably being too hard, but I think you gave them a good, appropriate amount of smoke for what they provided the WWE universe.
So what we about to do next, Professor Chris, and I appreciate you jumping on my wagon with me.
Mhm.
I love it. But with that said, what was your best show of the year? And we're gonna go WWE first, since we already kind of harping on them.
I would say the best show for me from WWE this year was the show where they had the initial heel turn from John Cena. I thought that was entertaining. The whole show I thought was decent, and I thought the heel turn itself, as a standalone thing, I thought it was awesome. Dare I say, even brilliant? Because that's a bold, ballsy move to do in the last year of this guy's career. I thought it was a necessary risk at the time. Okay, so I'm putting caveats on everything I'm saying. At the time, I thought it was a necessary risk. And yeah, that's probably my favorite WWE show this calendar year.
How about you, Jay?
I gotta say the same thing. Elimination Chamber. That was a great show. It's a great moment that I wish would have been capitalized. It had so much potential. We saw Jade Cargill's return in that show. We saw John Cena, and this is what I really loved about before the heel turn. John Cena just basically capitalizing on CM Punk getting curb stomped by Seth Rollins. That really set everything in motion. And again, the whole card, top to bottom, I liked it. And I just there was so much that could have been done. In again, hindsight's 2020, but for me, WWE show of the year would be the Elimination Chamber.
And for my WWE live attended show of the year, it's the same for me. It's Elimination Chamber. Being there live for that show was a ball and a half to be there and just see all that go. Jade coming out like a ball of fire, seeing the women's match go down and Bianca winning. That was just a great showcase. The tag match was cool, as we like to say. It was cool. You had the Owens and Zayn match that show as well on top of the men's chamber. And then the company that loves to make moments had one of their biggest moments of all time. It is a literal moment because after that, hey, the ball is definitely dropping like it's New Year's. So, but that is not my show of the year. My show of the year, I watched from a swimming pool in Dallas, Texas. And that was Evolution 2025. To me, this show for the women was a build that they were given well over delivered. From that triple threat match with Bayley, Lyra, and Becky for the IC title, and Becky's sliding out of that match with her pin maneuver just an inch by with the IC title. Phenomenal, amazing. JC Jane and Jordan Grace, I was kind of heartbroken that Jordan Grace didn't get the title, but you know what? Such is life. That was cool, but it was a showcase for NXT, and that was great. The Judgment Day, the champions retaining in that four-way match and having that showcase for them. Roxanne getting her time to shine, and you could really point back to around this time period of Roxanne Rodriguez getting her resurgence as her character from this show. Tiffany and Trish, I was there in Toronto when they had their tag team efforts. This is what Trish was looking for later down the line, so it's cool to see that bear fruit on this show. Stephanie winning that match for the title shot and eliminating Lash Legend. Those women got time in that Rumble. And Stephanie, to me, having that promo after and showing her English skills and how far she had come. It was like, okay, the future is now, and we're really growing this up. And then to have Naomi and Jade and their match, that no DQ match, great pairing off their Mania match. To then crown off the night with Jade winning the world title, stealing that joy of everybody from a phenomenal Io Sky Rhea Ripley match. Hey, what better storytelling did you have throughout the year? A nice crowning moment to see Naomi get that title shot. Io, her reign came to an end, but like, what a way to end. What a great show for the women. And to me, matched up to Evolution 1, if not outperformed it, in my opinion, quality-wise. That, like, they deserve another show. And they deserve the proper build going into the show now on the television to promote and boost that. You see them ending shows now. You see them ending and highlighting Raws and with the women's tag division and whatnot. Why aren't you doing that when they have their own pay-per-view? That's that pat yourself on the back. We're distracted with other things booking. It shouldn't be just a distraction to hold you away from AEW and to pull eyes away from that. It should be an opportunity to truly highlight your women's division and your talent. And so I'm going to highlight it as it being my show of the year this year. So, but when it comes to AEW, what show captivated your attentions this year? We're going to run that same order back. Chris, what's rocking for you?
Man, there was so much stuff in AEW this year that I literally don't even know which one to pick. And forgive me if I don't know the names of these shows either, but I would probably say, if you're asking me right now, at the top of my mind is gonna be the show where Hangman Page won the world title. I actually liked the show they did last month as well. I didn't love it, but I thought it had some interesting moments on it. But yeah, which was the one with Hangman where he won?
All in Texas.
Texas, yeah. That's probably my favorite show that AEW did this year as far as their pay-per-views go. For Dynamite itself, I thought the Blood and Guts, man. I don't know if I've seen any better wrestling television all at once with that show. I almost think I can't do that because that's cheating, but I almost give that show like rate. I think it's more fair to rate that show with a pay-per-view than with other pay-per-views than a regular episode of Dynamite. But I think and I don't want the faithful to come for me because they always do. But I think Dynamite did a very good job of filling in the gaps that WWE just left empty, and that was kind of like my story of, all of 2025. And the thing is, I can't say that about the year before, it's really 2025 where I just felt like every time when WWE did something that was like good, it'd be followed by like 5 horrible things in a row. So, and AEW, Tony Khan doesn't book like that. So that's my whole thing.
Oh, I like that. Well, Jay, how about you, man? How about your show of the year?
Before I give my show of the year, shout out to Two-Way Ray. My guy says Evolution was my favorite WWE PLE.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Ray. My AEW show of the year. Shout out to Doc. You said it, man. I think Blood and Guts. That was a PLE pay-per-view worthy show that we saw on a Wednesday night. I mean, hands down, that was just creme de la creme. Yeah. But PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna go with Double or Nothing. And because that was when Will Ospreay, love Will Ospreay. That was his final match of the year. Is the what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. No, it wasn't. That wasn't his final match of the year. Sorry about that. That was the match where he had it with Hangman Adam Page. For the final cup with the tournament. So that was a good match right there. So, what's it called? What is that? Their chamber match that they do? That's oh my gosh, I am blanking.
Are you talking about the Lights Out Steel Cage?
Well, they had the 5-on-5 where they had the with the Death Riders.
Lights Out Steel Cage. That was at Forbidden Door. That was Will Ospreay's last match.
That was his last match. That pay-per-view too. That was awesome as well too. But I mean, in terms of full card, I'm picking Double or Nothing. They had, my gosh, what's her name? Mercedes Moné and returning Jamie Hayter. That was a good match. I really thought Jamie Hayter was going to win, but thankfully she didn't because, I mean, I'm a huge Mercedes Moné fan. And Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kazuchika Okada. Banger of a match. And I didn't watch too much of Speedball Mike Bailey. I knew of him. I didn't follow him like that. But, I mean, that was a great introduction to 2 different styles that just meshed and told a wonderful story. And, I think top to bottom, that was a good card right there.
I like that. Let's say I'm in agreement about Blood and Guts. What a television show. I'll highlight once again the Mexico City show earlier that year that they had, especially because that Mystico entrance coming in there. Because that, as a Sin Cara, you a botcher. Seeing that was like, hey, he moving differently in Mexico. He's moving completely different. Let me get on game about this. So, but to see what they've done and highlight other companies, other talents, and play ball with everybody, we've seen the same from WWE this year. But to me, no better combination of talent showing up, spectacle, and showcase than All in Texas. Being there live for that. We talked about earlier, hey, yo, AEW, you got to start them shows earlier. I don't care if it was the Dodge Goldberg's retirement or not. Them starting at 2 p.m., me hopping and skipping down the street from the hotel, chilling, just having a ball. It's hot. But then we get down there and where's that somewhere? It's somewhere in here. I done lost it. But the card, my playing card that I got to create of myself while being there, the experience of the matches, the venue was a beautiful venue to be there and to take in for wrestling. I hope they go back again. I'm scared WWE will try to go back and outdo them there. So I hope they go back and kind of make that one of their home bases for like wrestling. But what a great show. Hangman, the coronation of him at the end, the coronation of Tony Storm saying, hey, I'm not just passing this off. I am AEW and I am this company's champion. I am the women's I am this division. Like I am the one to beat the woman, you gotta beat the woman. And that she became through her wrapping up with Mariah May earlier in the year, all the way to that point. You thought, oh, she's done. Nah, she's got a little more in the tank. Just no Salmon Jacket involved. But with that said, that whole show, the Hangman, not Hangman, but the Swerve Ospreay tag team match. The entrance was goofy with the Bucks and their forefathers stuff. But even them saving and keeping the title shots available, think about it. We would not be getting at World's End right now if they lost that match. Swerve would not be able to challenge for that world title. So it's nice to be able to have that. And that was a showcase match for them. And then the memes. I'm always a memes person. And you had just different memes of Swerve, like hitting that pose, coming out of there, right, saving them at the main event, and like mission accomplished. Like they got the Grand Theft Auto mission pass. It just cracked me up. Like they memed so many different things out of that, and so much. Just I don't know. I had a great ball at that show, and to be at WrestleMania and All in Texas, to be at the Elimination Chamber show and all that. All in that same year, it just kind of stands out. And it's a show that I felt the need that I had to go, and it did not drop that disappointment. It gave me more. I just wish I could have been at Supercard of Honor. That's my last regret of that whole trip, is I couldn't be there for that. Outside of that, I regret WrestleMania, and that's why I'm selling that so hard. Is I regret going to WrestleMania. Yeah. I regret that trip. I regret the money I spent on that. I regret not spending more money for closer seats at All in Texas. I would have, and it would have been even a better experience. So all I can say is that is my show of the year.
Right. The only thing I have on the All in Texas is we got the infamous Kenny Omega entrance. That's all I'm saying about that. That's it. Internet, if you want to come for me, you know where I'm at.
I try to ignore that match because I'm not a fan of that match because of Don Callis. Like Don is my arch nemesis against my live viewing wrestling experience. Right. He always just wants to pop up, show him. What Kendrick say? Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Like he stay popping out and show me. I'm like, go home. Right. Put a cap on your head and go home. Like get out of here. Stop interfering in people's matches, bro. Leave them alone. But nonetheless, still a great show all the way through for me. And so, with that said, we're gonna wrap up. But before we wrap up, Chris kind of came in midway, and I want to get some of your thoughts on stuff. And so, are there a couple of characters from WWE, a couple characters from AEW that storyline wise you love their ascension, you love their growth, you love where they started here at 2025, and by the end of the year they're at a much better point that you like where their progression is going?
Okay, WWE, man, there's people's ascension in WWE that I think is better than others. I don't know if I could say anybody's that I actually like, because I'm afraid that CM Punk is probably gonna beat Braun Breaker, which I just don't think is the appropriate calculus at the moment, especially given how stale that company is. And I actually think I'm being a little generous when I call it stale. I think they are actually quite rotten in certain areas, you know. And that's kind of like my whole thing with WWE. If I'm gonna pick somebody who I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic about, it's probably Braun Breaker. I like what they've been doing with Stephanie Vaquera this year. That's probably going to be like and again, it's not I'm not excited about anything in that company. I'm cool with them, is what I'll say. AEW, I'm excited about a lot of different people in that company, because I just think the upward mobility is just more present. I'm looking forward to that 4-way match on Sunday, you know. And I one thing I appreciate about that match is that the way you book MJF in that match is gonna tell a story, because if you book him because he cashes it in on a 4-way match, if he's successful, those are bragging rights for him for the foreseeable future. If he loses, he's the idiot that that uses cash in on a 4-way match. So I like the possibilities of both directions of that. And yeah, that's kind of like where I'm standing right now as far as the Ascension. I'm loving I'm loving the comebacks. I love Swerve coming back. I actually appreciate MJF a little bit more in this go round than I did the last go round. And I'll tell you why. Because I heard him do an interview with my boy Sean Ross Sapp, and he sounded like a human being in the interview. I've dealt with MJF on various red carpets and shindigs and shit of that nature. He's always a guy where I see him and I like avoid to just not talk to him, because I just don't want to deal with any kayfabe bullshit that he's going to give me during that time. But I think now that he's acting and doing stuff like that, I think he knows how to turn on the heat better when he's off of wrestling. Because to me, it's 2025. The way I look at it is, yeah, I understand you're a bad guy, but also it is 2025. So how much of that shit are you gonna give like journalists that are like trying to like seriously cover your profession, you know? So those are kind of my things. Oh, and I would be remiss. I don't know if y'all talked. I do think WWE's has been doing a lot of like troll booking, and I've accused them of that before. I don't know how, and this isn't about my preference. I just don't know how much it benefits them to do certain things that they do. Like I'm talking specifically about the John Cena match that he had with Walter Gunther, if you will. I don't understand these traditionalisms or these like this pass the torch kind of shit in wrestling that always kind of gets bandied about, and it just never makes any sense to me, because I think that if Cena was going to lose to anybody, it really should have been somebody that was going to benefit off of that, like anybody. Gunther, there's two fronts I look at Gunther on. First, he's already won the world title, at least the 1B world title, multiple times. He's on their flagship show. His antics haven't gotten him to a place where he's made a face turn yet. I really don't think there's that much lemon juice to squeeze out of that lemon. And that's not an insult on Gunther. It's just there's not everybody in wrestling is going to be Hulk Hogan or Macho Man or Stone Cold or The Rock or CM Punk or Cody. Some people are just gonna be a notch under that, and that's, to me, is fine. And I think that's kind of what Gunther is. I really do feel like a Javon or somebody like that would have benefited from that. As far as them making Cena tap out, again, I don't really care about that, but I mean, I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to make sense of this. I always thought, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the point of wrestling was to get people to want to follow the product, and when they pay to go to a show, you want to do a show that's so good that they want to pay. The next show they want better seats. The next show they want to try to get backstage passes. The next show they're going to want to do. They're going to want to buy the package, you know. And I just don't think that's what they did with that Saturday Night's Main Event. I think, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And if Triple H is the biggest heel coming out of the show, if the company is the bad guy and not the person that you're booking to be the bad guy, that is a problem. That is, and I don't think it's a small problem. I think it's a major problem. I think you can argue that you can turn it into a good problem, but for you, I mean, that's bad will that was unnecessary, you know. It's like, you know, if I got dumped by my girlfriend, and her dumping me is bad enough, but then she calls the guy that she dumped me for and then starts making out with him right in front of me, and he starts like grabbing ass right in front of me, and then like she takes a Setzer bottle and sprays me with water, and then I'm walking home without an umbrella and it starts raining.
That sounds like an Attitude Era storyline that you're describing. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand, like, who is the brain that thought of this? And I'm here. It keeps going back to Triple H. And if this is the kind of shit he's doing, I don't know if he's positioned in a good role in that company, because if this was a isolated incident, Gerard and Jarek, if this was like a one-time thing, I'd be like, hey, this is to push the storyline forward. This shit happens a lot in that company. Like, you don't know, when WrestleMania was in Los Angeles a couple years ago, in 2023, you don't know how many angry people I talked to that came out of that weekend. Like, why did Cody lose? Why did, just that kind of attitude. It ended up benefiting them. And I think that's more of a testament to Cody Rhodes' staying power than anything the company did, because I've seen other guys they put in similar roles like that where they didn't pull the trigger when they should have pulled the trigger, and it just completely, you couldn't go back to that. I'm thinking of Lex Luger in the 90s.
Luger.
Yeah.
For sure, Luger.
I was thinking Luger, but more recently we got LA Knight.
Yeah, LA Knight. Yeah. Example.
Hey, no. I got a life raft for him. I ain't gonna drown him just yet. Luger, we can drown him.
I'm not drowning him. I'm not trying to do that either, Gerard.
Tsunami on top of a roof. Of
it's not looking. It's not looking great for my boy, man. I'm over here trying to. I'm not even trying to throw a lifesaver at I'm like trying to throw arm floaties at this dude. Like
pool noodles or something, man.
Yeah, something, man. It's just like I said. I just want the booking to this is like, and people have accused Tony Khan of doing this. And I don't think Tony Khan has ever done it to that extent, right? Like, cause even with with him getting rid of Ricky Starks, he didn't get rid of Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks decided not to renew his contract. What I thought Tony Khan did that was wrong was Ricky Starks should have been in a meaningful program that he lost on his way out of the company. That's the thing that I would have done differently. But it wasn't a situation where, like you were booking you were booking Ricky Starks and stuff that was just confusing and didn't make any sense, and that was kind of like with the whole John Cena thing is like Gunther is not gonna get any more over than he already is, and he is over, but I mean he's not getting into crossover territory, not with that fucking gimmick. He's not. No. It's just not happening. We've had Gunther around for what did he say?
Ray saying, but the heat, Chris. Heat.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to, because I want to temper this. I don't want people thinking that I'm just hating to hate, But I just don't understand why you do stuff like this. Like, for me, it goes back further than this even. Like, this is a culture problem in WWE. I got to WrestleMania in San Francisco 10 years ago. I was out there in San Fran. It was a great weekend. I purposely didn't pay to go to WrestleMania because I just didn't think I just didn't think they were going to do right by Sting. But then one of the postmarks that weekend was like, "Hey, Chris, man, if you, because I was going to my Civic at the time, and I was about to drive back to LA, and some dude invited me, gave me a ticket to go to the show, and I go to the show, and Triple H is beating Sting, and I'm like, why? Like, this is his home state, Like, what are we doing, And the John Cena thing, you could have had him lose in so many different ways, and people would have been okay. They would have come to terms with them. But having him like tap out like that to a guy that really doesn't benefit from it.
I beg to differ, Chris. I beg to differ.
How does he
Yeah.
benefit?
I'm not gonna make this. I'm not trying to make this debate show, but
Yeah.
I definitely beg to differ because they do this in the company. You're right. This is a booking thing that they do. But go back in time, because when they take a beast or they take a character and they screw it up, then they have to rehab that character. And so they did that back in the day with Brock Lesnar. Brock comes in, loses to Cena, beats Triple H at SummerSlam, loses to Triple H at WrestleMania 29, beats him in Elimination Chamber, and from that point, he beats World Champion Triple H. He beats Punk at SummerSlam. He comes back and beats Brock at the Rumble, and then he beats, I think, Mark Henry somewhere in there too, just randomly.
Yeah, he
And then on top of that, then he beats all these world champions and former people that Undertaker had beat at WrestleMania, leading up to beating him at WrestleMania to rehab him, which, yeah, you can say he didn't need it. And I agree with that. He didn't need it, but they gave him that to then give it to the next star that they're going to try to make. That was going to be Roman Reigns. They just fumbled how Roman was going to actually get there. And because of that fumbling and another person rising up and still having that light of the fans in Daniel Bryan, we had to do the whole Seth cash-in thing, but Seth never touched Brock. The whole thing was to give it to Roman eventually to make him the next big baby face. Cool. I think we're going to do this to build the next big baby face, but also why not make a household heel name that, like, he might not be household to like a John Cena level, but in that same way that Triple H, that people are like, oh my God, it's Triple H. He's taking over. He's beating my people. Gunther's going to be that person who's beating your people. He just took out Goldberg. Rear naked choke. He just took out John Cena. Rear naked choke. Hey, get ready to fly. He's going to take out AJ Styles. Probably rear naked choke. He's going to do Randy Orton. Rear naked choke. And then he's going to go and get Brock. Rear naked choke. All to build him up as this massive force. The retirement killer. Call him whatever you want to call him. He's taking people's joy away from him. People don't get to go out on their shields happily. They get to go out sleepy. My biggest issue is why John Smile? I get the whole my life flashing. This is not anime, bro. This is not anime. This is not your movies, because we needed a couple takes for that. I'm sorry. We needed a couple. That was not a one-shot take. No, that's not it. But if you got beaten down, you were bloodied up, we've seen you through way worse. We've seen you get beat down through way worse. If you actually had that there, I called for 10 more minutes on the stream. I was like, if this match has 10 more minutes, I think we'll get there. We maybe 2 minutes later got a tap. That wasn't it. We needed more time. We needed a bigger beat down to see our hero fall. So now we've given Gunther that streak-like, because we even had the streak-like camera shots of everybody in the arena. This is now going to carry him, that Gunther lost to Jay at Mania. That was that Triple H loss, and those losses that kind of messed Brock back up in the beginning. We had him then feud around with Pat McAfee. He shouldn't be feuding with a commentator. He should have a more serious push. So now we've been giving him that more serious push since coming back from SummerSlam. We gave him his old theme song. We about the business. We about to bring that Walter version of him back. And now we're building him up to be this big force again without a title. Now he doesn't need to touch a world title for this. He could just be the retirement killer, and just like Randy Orton was the legend killer, and that didn't need a title to have those big star matches. You're getting that from Gunther. That's going to make him a marquee attraction of wanting to see people's heroes get one over. Can my hero get past him? Can AJ get past him? Can whoever's hero that is Brock? Can my hero Brock or whoever get past him? Pick a different hero if Brock's your hero. But nonetheless, can all these people get past Gunther? And the answer is no. And they build up to a big baby face. You could say a Javon Evans would be a good bookend from this tournament to now, and Javon grown to take that. But I and my WWE brain and my WWE 2K brain at that, because I love to play video games, I always build them up every year for Universe Mode, Gunther, and Obafemi. and you give Oba that win, I get that, hey, he a person of color, but he a person of color who is one of their first NIL like big signings that they have been able to do so much with so far. His growth, look what they gave him with Cody. You give him that Gunther win later on, and they have like a meat style match that then concludes with Gunther being the bigger person in that match and defeating Oba defeating Gunther. I think that's a great boost to make him a bigger household name, the big baby face that you want to carry it forward. He's got the
Right.
I think it's all to build that next star.
I guess my issue with all of this is, Gerard, I think what you just explained and the thought you put into what you explained is way more thought than WWE actually put into this shit. I really don't think they were thinking that long term or that outside of the box. They have done this before. I want to be on record to say I don't like it when they've done it in the past. I always think that eventually somebody's got to benefit from the person before. I don't think anybody really came out of a feud with Brock Lesnar like higher echelon than they were before the feud. Like Cody Rhodes beat him once, lost to him once, beat him the second time. I think Cody Rhodes would still be Cody Rhodes without that feud. I think he's beating like all these old guys and stuff. I also think that there is a difference between them beating like a guy at a show or whatever, at some random show. I was looking at ticket prices for this Saturday night's main event, and my God, man, like they had like $30,000 packages for like two people. Like, so $15,000 a ticket to go to that show because you want to see that was from Boston, right?
No, that was
DC.
That was DC.
Okay, cool. So we'll take that. Wasn't the hometown thing, so we'll get rid of that aspect of it. DC is a bit of ways from Boston. It's probably about a 7-hour drive or something like that. So yeah, not that, but it's just like I just don't understand like people paid money to see John Cena, and it's a worked sport, so I don't understand why you would do that. And I would have preferred it being Oba or Javon or anybody else. Braun Breaker's about to, they're telling us that he's going to be a main eventer. I'd like to see some upward mobility with that. And this isn't just a thing with WWE, but it seems like a new like wrestling thing with like you can't be world champion until you're north of 25 or until you're in your 30s, or you got to pay this amount of dues or that amount of dues. I just don't understand the logic in this shit. To me, if you are on the trajectory to get over, you don't waste time with that, because the minute you waste time is somebody not getting over. And also with the Saturday night's main event thing, the question that I would ask, and this could be rhetorical or it could be a question that people have answers to, is if you spent $5,000, $15,000, $30,000 for a ticket to see John Cena win, and you got that result, are you going to feel safe with your money to pay for another WWE event, and trust them not to do that kind of again, I don't know what else to call it. To me, it's troll booking. You know, I just don't understand. And as far as the shit with Walter too, I'm kind of losing it with this stuff too. Is the thing with Walter that they're trying to prove is white German superiority over everything else? Are they doing some Third Reich shit or what the fuck, man? I mean, like, what are they doing? What are they trying to prove with this guy? Are they trying to prove that he is a part of the superior Aryan race?
I'd say I don't think so, because I think if they were, they would have kept him with Ludwig. Like, to me, separating that group and kind of breaking that down.
Yeah, Ludwig just makes them a gang. Ludwig makes them a white supremacist group, whereas now it could just be a singular white supremacist without the group attachments. And I'm not saying that he's that, but I'm just trying to understand like what the I'm just trying if the logic is, because I mean if they did this, if this was because that's what they did with Lesnar too. I mean, Lesnar was like, you know, booked to beat everybody in the same kind of way, you know, was of that same kind of bread, country, blonde-haired, Aryan guy, just beating the fuck out of everyone. And this is the part where I'm probably going a little too deep with it, or maybe maybe just subconsciously this is what they're doing. I don't know. It's like this. It's just weird, man. It's weird.
Well, to answer your question about, you know, people taking like $3,000, $5,000, $30,000 and trusting it with the WWE to another show, in the street, this is called robbery. Honestly, this is what it is. I mean, you legally rob somebody of their money, and honestly, if you got that kind of bread to, you know, go to a show, you should be investing your bread over here at the media network.
Right, like I remember. I remember doing interviews with fans outside of one of those WrestleManias that I went to. It could have been the Georgia one. These people are not, a lot of them are not rich people that are paying this kind of money either. This one guy said like he worked like 2 jobs to pay for getting tickets to this thing, you know. When I went to WrestleMania 10 years ago to enjoy the weekend comfortably, I did like Uber driving on the side and stuff like that, just so I can like go and I didn't pay for a ticket, but I did that to pay for the weekend, you know. So people put their blood, sweat, and tears into these weekends, you know. And one of the things people have been asking me on my social is who's to blame for it. And I think it's, you know, everybody has to get an equal amount of the blame. I would say Gunther is the least doesn't get any blame because he's doing his job. But like, you know, Cena's got enough power to where if he didn't want to lose like that, he could have said something. Triple H has enough common sense to be like, hey, this is probably not a good idea. But then again, he might not have that enough common sense because he thought it was a good idea for him and Chris Jericho to main event that WrestleMania over Rock and Hogan, you know. So I don't know what the,
that's wild.
Yeah, it spells out the 3 letters. It's called EGO. I spell out ego.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think it's along those lines. And I guess for me, the thing is I think that WWE, they're gonna have to spend 2025 trying to get people to care about the show anymore, because I do think they lost a lot of social capital this year. People are not loving WWE on ESPN. The app has been malfunctioning left and right. The numbers on Netflix, we have to take guesses most of the time that they are doing. Like, they did announce numbers here recently, but the show is, if it was doing like fantastic on Netflix, somebody would have said that a long time ago, you know. And I think that like they've turned from a company that, yes, they were always in the money making business, but they were also in like the fan service business as well at one point. And now I just think it's just all about money, you know. And I think that Triple H has just learned all of this from Vince. I think the longer Triple H is in this role, the longer he does things like Vince. Because I heard other stupid arguments too, guys, like this week, where people were saying like, well, if Vince McMahon was booking this show, it would have been different. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. He would have did the same thing. Because Vince McMahon, with Brock Lesnar and Undertaker, Undertaker was supposed to win that match. Vince McMahon saw how sluggish and broken down Undertaker looked at that WrestleMania, and in his head was like, okay, this guy isn't going to go another year, so let's just have Lesnar beat him in a throwaway match and make no sense of it, you know? Vince McMahon is also the man that had Macho Man for WrestleMania 9 and put him on commentary for it, you know, instead of in an actual match. And in WrestleMania 10, he put him in a match with Crush. Like, Vince McMahon loves kind of putting people out to pasture. So I don't think that Vince McMahon would have done anything different. But for me, the point is Triple H is just kind of following that playbook, you know, like just following the old guard says that you have to lose on your way out. And Cena did lose on his way out. He lost to Dominic. He lost to Cody. He did lose matches. So I don't know why that particular match, it was important for him to lose in that way. And like you said, if the story is that Gunther is just putting everybody out, why can't that wealth be spread? Is just all I want to know. Is it for racial reasons? Is it for, you know, we're gonna put the rocket behind Gunther and he's just gonna be, because he's not even gonna get to Macho Man level. That's not what Gunther is. Gunther is an attraction guy. Gunther is Undertaker. Gunther is Andre the Giant. Gunther is Mark Henry. Gunther serves that role. He is a main eventer in the sense that as long as you have him on the roster, you can put him in matches with other main eventers, but he's not the guy that's carrying the company. You know, he's a good like guy to have. He's a necessary piece. He's, you know, James Worthy with the Lakers in the 80s, and you could depend on James Worthy. And James Worthy was a guy that was going to get you to win games, But once Magic Johnson was out of that equation and Kareem was out of that equation, the best you're going to do with James Worthy is get to the first round of the playoffs and probably win a couple games, but you're not going to do what you did when you had Magic and Kareem, you know? And that's kind of how I see Gunther. I see Gunther as an important piece. He's just not the guy that you throw all this shit at, you know. It's the wealth has to be spread. It's got to be. I don't know how you sustain with this model for this long, you know.
Yeah.
I would say, well, we will definitely dive more into this topic on the NWA podcast coming this Sunday to you all on the Post Wrestling Network. So please dive into that around 8:05 CP time. You know, we be cruising in, we be cruising out. But come join us because we're going to wrap for the year. We're going to talk more about the Cena Retirement Tour. We're going to cover a lot about the year. We'll have a lot of rotating guests coming through. So a lot of different faces throughout the show periodically. So definitely put it on, enjoy us, grab a cup of your favorite beverage, and enjoy yourself that evening on Sunday. So we'll be rocking with y'all on that evening. So we are about to wrap the show up here, but we're going to blitz through the big three. And so with that, I would like to know, what's your favorite wrestler of the year? Who is your least favorite wrestler of the year, or the least favorite wrestling thing of the year? And then who is somebody who you think has just stagnated this year? Jay, go ahead and rip it off with me.
Wrestler of the year for me, I gotta go with Mercedes Moné, the belt collector herself. Fabulous character build. She's put a little bit more moves in her repertoire. I like that. I mean, shout out to Bandito. That's another dude that's really surprised me. Shout out to Dominic Mysterio, but I mean, out of those people there, and there's there are other people. Javon Evans is another one. Trick Williams is another one that could be mentioned in this. But for me and my money, it's Mercedes Moné.
All right. And so how about your least?
Least favorite? Sheesh. I don't really have a least favorite wrestler.
Or
I
least
have
favorite thing.
Least
Wrestler or
favorite,
thing.
Least favorite thing would be the involvement of Travis Scott. He had no business being in the ring for the pivotal moment that was Cena's heel turn. I questioned it when he was walking down, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why is he involved? Only for him to have that one moment, and that's it. I mean, I Show Speed had more longevity in WWE folklore than Travis Scott, but this is what we got. So that's where I'm at.
All right. And then for stagnated, who you think had the biggest stagnated time this year?
This hurts me, man, because I really love this wrestler, Drew McIntyre. They did that brother dirty. I mean, he's still in the main event scene, but he's not going up and he's not going down either, you know? And I think that he's earned the shot to carry the gold and travel with the gold and just create new matchups. I like Cody, but again, I think I think Drew McIntyre needs to run with it and not in the pandemic era. So those are my big three.
All right. How about you, Chris? Who are your big three? Who's your best wrestler of the year?
For me, it's gonna be either Mercedes or Hangman. Probably Mercedes. I'll give it to her. I'll give her the slight edge just because I saw some of the matches that she's done outside of AEW, and they're very impressive, man. Like she's definitely somebody that cares about her craft. My least favorite wrestler this year, or is it simply wrestler, or is it just anybody?
Or thing.
All right,
wrestler
so
or thing.
Wrestler or thing, or maybe both of these guys qualify as both. but Triple H and The Rock, or The Rock and Triple H, whoever, both of these guys are on the board. And if 2025 is the best shit they can give us, God help us, man. So both of them. And then what was that last one?
Stagnated. Who do you think has stagnated the most?
Okay, so I'm tempted to say Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. The thing with Drew McIntyre, though, is I don't know if he was made for anything past stagnation. I think that's kind of like the role he's kind of cast in, unfortunately, is just the kind of heater guy. And I don't think it's Drew McIntyre's fault. I think it's Cody Rhodes is kind of a very good wrestler to have on your roster as far as looking the part, because he's a handsome guy, being able to speak articulately, and you can throw him on any talk show and he's going to fit in on it. It doesn't matter if it's the Joe Rogan show or Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel or fucking The View or Oprah. Cody Rhodes just fits into these boxes a little bit easier. And I think that's the thing with Roman Reigns too. So I think Drew McIntyre, I would like to see, I wouldn't mind seeing him get another run with the title. I don't know if the company sees him as beyond that, so I think he's kind of had, and Sheamus is just, he still has a job, man. God bless the guy, but I mean, I don't know what purpose he serves outside of just being a good veteran voice to have and throw ideas at, but yeah, he's just not impressed me at all in 2024 or 2025 rather.
No, that's real. That's real. But
right,
to run through my big three,
yeah, what's your three?
It's gonna be Timeless Tony Storm as my wrestler of the year. Hangman,
Yes.
I would say I like him too because of his confidence building story with MJF into Will Ospreay into All In was a great roller coaster ride to then get him as champion, and now we got him in the chase again. So that energy is kind of nice to see us almost swinging back to Joe again. So they were almost going to run back that triple threat from Revolution a couple years ago in 2024. Well, now we got a fatal four-way, running back a fatal four-way from last year. So I like Hangman's trajectory throughout the year as a character, but Timeless Tony Storm, from her building herself back up, being the amnesia story. I'm a rookie. I don't know who I am. Working my way up to this Hollywood Brawl match with Mariah May, and the Hollywood ending match was such a great conclusion to that story and a whole character ending in AEW to send them off to another company, but boost Tony up to a whole nother level. That she, to me, at a time was then carrying the company, carrying the show, whether it's beating Megan Bayne at Dynasty, doing her due diligence all the way up to All In, and then having that showcase with Mercedes, having another fire match with Athena. She's done her thing all the way across the board, proving herself on television shows, on the pay-per-views. She's been a star across the board, and she is the women's division in AEW. So Timeless Tony Storm, that is my wrestler of the year. To me, my worst wrestler of the year, or least favorite thing of the year, John Cena's retirement tour, baby. Because there might have been a couple of great moments peppered up in that sucker. But to focus on even his last words of the tournament, I'm going to give somebody an opportunity that I got on my first day. Gunther's already been a world champion 2 times over. That's not an opportunity for somebody new who needs it. So we couldn't even get the storylines to that degree alone. Hodgepodge, mixed across the board, thrown around. It wasn't what it should have been, and we left money on the table. We left people, eyeballs gathering to the sport full time. You lost them, and now you probably lost some other people with the way this ended, because they're not here to hear your story all the way through. They saw their favorite person tap, and they didn't like that, and with a smile on his face saying, "Ha ha ha ha, gotcha." I like to think,
and left his sketches in the middle of the ring.
for real.
Not even the Reebok pumps, yo.
Sketcher boys. But that leads me to then say my stagnated person, and I feel like we've all been kind of around the board with a couple people I agree with, but I'm gonna talk about somebody I don't think people might look at, and it's Bron Breakker. Yes, he has been promoted to the world, like to this division of the main event scene with the Vision and being able to tag along with Seth and all that. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I feel like Bron last year running the roost, getting on Pierce's bad side because he's just spearing everybody, taking everybody out at his own leisure as he wanted to, doing what he wanted to, got him the IC title that way. Doing what he wanted to, got him what he needed, and that boast and that the crowd support. So if he, like he did with Seth on his own, doing what he wanted to do, if we get that Bron and we get the chains let off the dog and the dog is now running loose, that would be it would be a better boost for him as a character and push him to that main event scene a lot faster. We didn't get that this year. Yes, he was the IC champion going into WrestleMania, but then after that, it just kind of fell down.
Mm-hmm.
He lost in the Fatal 4-Way. Okay, I'm a part of the Vision now. Cool, but then, like, I would have speared you too, Seth, if you were like, "Oh, you're in such a better position now with me than you were last year. I had gold last year. I have nothing now, and I'm losing a bunch of times because I'm rocking with you." He needs to get rid of Paul, lock in, and I think he loses the Punk. And if he lost the Punk, either on the first Raw, he wins Rumble. And he says, "I'm coming to kill everybody and to get what's mine." But I want to see a more serious push because I had Bron Breakker being seen either Bron or Drew being seen last opponent. Drew for the Rock storyline, or turn it around and make it for Bron because he's the future and we want to promote the future. We didn't get none of that. None of that.
Yeah.
So I wish we saw more from Bron. But with that said, y'all, I hear the class bell ringing, and so that means the semester is over. Class is now concluding. I hope your grades pass for the semester. Some folks pass, some folks might not have. Triple H, we'll see you in summer school. But with that said, folks, you want to share out your socials, share out anything, go around the horn. Doctor. Go ahead and tell us your stuff, man.
Oh yeah, you just go to my Substack, and it's been pretty cool this year. Got over 1,500 subscribers, over 100 paid subscribers, so that's cool too. And then you can just check me out on NWA. Check us all out on NWA. We're doing a lot of different things over here, a lot of moving parts. Just check us out, man.
All right, Jay, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, so you can check us out on the Nefarious Media Network. Check us out on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Jerek, capital JEREK_wins, WINS. On Instagram, you can follow me there. You can check us out on the Parlay on the network. We got the NWA podcast coming up this Sunday. You can follow. You can Kings of Sport also. We got some other shows on here. Super Salad, SBF. We got a lot of things going on in motion. So 2025 was dope. 2026 is going to be even doper. So watch out for us. And
when it comes to me, you can find me on the Drive for 5 100 here at Nefarious Media. So, hey, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us reach that goal. Subscribe to the Patreon. Help us reach that goal. We got a lot of shows, and we got a stretch Honda Civic. So we got plenty of seats on this ride and on this drive. So feel free to hop in the back, buckle up, because 2026 is about to be a bigger year. Triple H might not be doing it big, but we're going to be doing it big. And so all of 2026, with our new shows, our current shows, bringing new ideas, new people. And so have your voices heard, join on, and be a part of the community. So we love to grow this community more. And so with that said, thank you all for y'all time. Thank y'all for everything. And then we'll see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. on Post Wrestling for the NWA End of the Year Wrap-Up Show podcast. With that said, my name is Gerard Brown. Brown, first of his name on Instagram. Peace and chicken grease, y'all.